To go? All right. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us tonight. My name is Stacey Agdern. I am lucky to be here along with Kelly Jamieson, Melanie Ting, Danica Flynn, and Fortune Whelan. We are the Chippy Chicks. This is the final episode of the season. There's a whole bunch of stuff that we're going to cover tonight. Some normal, some not so normal, but all really cool and exciting. At least I'd like to think so. Um, but the beginning of the agenda is one of the biggest things in the NHL right now, which is the Stanley Cup Finals. Are we watching? Are we not watching?
Clearly, we're not watching because it's on right now.
Yeah.
I don't even
But
know if the game
generally speaking, have we been
has
following?
yeah. But has the puck even dropped? Because they never drop it on time.
Yeah, that's true, especially in Vegas.
Yeah.
It's wild because like I was originally going to not watch.
hmm
I followed and I was like, okay, I'm now done at the end of the last round, but then all of a sudden I got into it. Carolina, which I will talk about much later, Carolina did something I did not expect them to ever do, and I was like all excited and all in. So, but I mean, it's been interesting and fun to watch. How do we think it's been going? What have we been enjoying it? Have we been
I have not been watching much of it. I don't think I watched the first two games at all. And then I kind of got curious to watch. I'm not boycotting it. Like a lot of people are just like refusing to watch it because of the whole Vegas and
Mhm.
Carter Hart thing. And I totally understand that, but I wasn't going to boycott it. I just didn't have time to watch it. Then I got curious and I started watching it, and like I was that last game where because I'm going to cheer for Carolina. I was kind of enjoying that last game. Yeah, so I mean I don't know. I can't say too much about how it's going because I haven't watched that much of it, but if tonight ends up to be the end, it's always fun to watch that if one team wins. I always like when the cup is in the house and the handshake line.
That's fun to watch. Anybody else? Mel? Danica?
Well, I mean, I wasn't expecting it to be good, but the games have been actually pretty exciting. But I haven't watched like the full games. I've just been watching highlights and
Yeah.
stuff. But I mean, if you don't like Carter Hardy is getting ventilated in this series, so he's like set a record for like the only goalie to let 4 goals in every game of the Stanley Cup final. So it's kind of nice to see that.
I saw someone say today that Torts is digging his heels in by continuing to start Carter Hart.
Well,
like,
yeah.
Actually, no.
is he like?
Go ahead. Sorry.
There's so much not
It
to
makes it
like
sound
about
like
Vegas, from the coach to the fact they won't let their old coach have a new job to who they've got in
Yeah,
goal. I
Yeah.
mean,
yeah,
so
yeah,
I guess
yeah,
like if you hate watch games, then maybe you might
yeah.
Yeah, I think on that point, I think there's a lot of people that are not necessarily rooting for Carolina to
Yes,
win, but for Vegas to lose.
Yeah, yeah,
Which
totally.
I
yes.
want, like I have not been watching the games, but I definitely want to watch like tonight because like if they win, that's a fun game to watch. But I'm like, I have love for Bryn Mawr because he used to be a Flyer and like I feel like he still respects the Flyers fan base, which is hilarious to me. So I'm like, okay, if he gets it, that'd be great. But yeah, I feel like I just didn't really care that much.
I know.
Also, like the games are on like the East Coast. They start at 8 p.m. on the East Coast, and like I got to bed at like
Yeah,
10:30. So
yeah.
Too
like,
late. No, I like that. But I mean, you gotta love fans that are yelling no means no.
Yes, that was
Yes,
Thank you,
fantastic.
Carolina fans.
yeah.
Actually, I saw somewhere, apparently that started in Utah.
Oh, did it?
Oh,
Apparently,
really?
like the
Awesome.
fans in Utah started that in
Oh,
the
good for
first home
them.
game, which I was like, what? But apparently,
Yeah.
apparently that's what
Interesting.
happened. And I'm like, great, good, go, good on Utah's fans for starting that and for creating for for creating a space where and creating a kind of a like a tradition where Carter Hart had to listen to the what he called noise,
Mm-hmm.
which someone said actually there's a reason why they don't put him in front of the press these days. And I'm like,
Well,
Yeah.
I heard that Vegas
uh,
hired a PR person after that thing with Torts, after they lost a draft pick. And so he is specifically there to put the hammer on Tortorella problems and also Carter Hart problems. So,
Oh, really?
yeah, like I guess the norm, you need an emergency PR person.
yep.
Oh my
Because
God.
and like if that's like again like his comment like no means no is noise, well, considering
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
there's lots of response to that,
yes,
and an amazing lack of self-awareness.
yeah,
I'm interested. I also just because of Nikolai Ehlers playing for the
Mhm.
Hurricanes now after being a Jet, and this is his first year with them, and just seeing how well he's doing with them. I'm happy for him and sad for us. There's lots of fans that are saying like, oh, we shouldn't have let him go. It was blah, blah, blah. But he wanted to leave. There was no way he was going to
Yeah.
stay.
Like,
So so that's like not even worth discussing, but it is interesting that he is playing so much better in a playoff game and a Stanley Cup final, when people here thought that he was like not a playoff guy.
Well, apparently I heard that he's like an Iceman. Like they ask him, "Oh, it's just another game." He's like really super chill about everything. So,
Well, good for him.
yeah,
It's
I
been interesting to see that.
yeah.
I mean, in that same vein, I love seeing Keandre Miller succeed like he has. It's kind of amazing. Um, one of the things that they talked about, and that actually might also be something for Nikolai Ehlers as well, is that like Brendan Moore has a system. There's a very specific system that Carolina has played, and like this was, I think this we talked about this a little bit during the second round when they were playing the Flyers, and how like there is this, he has this system. This is how his team plays. And you can study and learn about this system as much as you can, but when you are playing against it, there's a different story entirely. And like I think
Oh,
it's a thing for opponents, but it's also something for players who are playing in different systems and different teams, right? Like maybe there's something about the system that's helping Nikolai Ehlers flourish. Same with Keandre Miller. Maybe like this defense forward system
yeah,
is helping Keandre. Like who knows?
yeah,
Like that's,
yeah,
when you see players move from team to team, it's the question of like what system works for them. Are
yeah.
they going from a good system to a bad system with a coach? Like,
Or just a
why
system that works better for them. Like, who knows, right?
exactly? So, yeah, it's an interesting
Yeah.
thought. Any other thoughts about the Stanley Cup series, the finals, or
I'm like Danica. I'm going to watch after I'm recording
yeah.
it, so
Oh
I'll
yeah.
watch after this.
No, I'm gonna watch. Well, one of the things I have been doing recently, when things get a little too tense, whatever sport it is, I follow the score on social media. So like
Yeah.
with basketball, they have a little basketball that sort of demonstrates the score changes. So like, um, it'll bounce on top of the team score and you'll see the extra like 1 point or something on Google. It's cute by the way they do that. They don't have a similar thing for hockey, but like you see the score changes and whatnot. And it's sometimes it's safer for me and the universe around me if I am watching through Google.
Yeah.
I I don't know
So I
why
will watch,
people,
but
why do people watch basketball? They should just watch the last 10 minutes of the
yeah.
game, it seems like.
Well, yeah, like that was the conversation in my family in terms of the Knicks, like the last 5 minutes of the game, like
Yeah.
that's where things take place. That's where um but and before we go to the next section, I would be yeah, um so as this is going on, um this is the last game, the last sort of big one of the last big events of the playing year in the NHL. Um which means we now are in a lot of ways looking towards next season. Especially all of us who are no longer in the playoffs.
Yep.
So um and some of us have had a long off season to consider questions about what we're looking at, what we're looking for next season. Some of us have already had within our teams of choice tumult, and not tumult, but like change of management and hopefully a bright light shining on the team for the next season. With new management, new coaches, new directions already, which is a thing that happens in terms of right now, because the next thing that's supposed to happen is the draft. So they want to get the team in place to like actually look at the draft. At least that's the theory if that happens. So the general question that I'm posing to everybody tonight is, what do we want from our teams next season? And are we happy with the choices that they're supposedly making or not making? Who wants
I
to
could
go
talk
first?
about this for the next hour.
Yeah.
But I'll let somebody else take a turn first. I won't talk for an hour.
Oh, you can start, Kelly, though, if you
Well, there's lots of chit chat in Winnipeg now, of course, being out of the playoffs, and especially such a disappointing end to the season, about what went wrong this season and why are they consistently just not making it. And a lot of the chit chat that's happened over, well, the last season for sure, and but actually over the last few years is sort of what people see as the failings of team management, not necessarily the players, although I mean, whatever. How management is dealing with trades and free agency and the draft and draft picks, and particularly how they develop the team and the younger people, the younger guys that come into the team. So the development thing is one big thing, because it was always the plan, or I understood from when the Jets came to Winnipeg, that um, their whole system was going to be draft and develop, that they were going to draft lots of good players and develop them to play on the Jets. And really that hasn't happened that much. Like, they have a few players now that were, top draft picks that have stayed with Winnipeg, but a lot of the draft picks have not made it to the NHL, or have left the Jets system, like the Jets or the Moose. And like, why is that? And there's talk about a few specific players that they drafted that were seen to be sort of bright lights that never actually have made it into the NHL or made the Jets roster consistently, and why. And what are they, the other part that goes along with that is they need to do that draft and development kind of management, because it's hard to attract players to come to Winnipeg. So in like free agency, or when they're trying to, do some kind of a trade, it's hard to get players to come here. Especially, and this is another big topic lately, with these no move clauses in players' contracts. So it all kind of came up with Dylan Larkin requesting a trade. And he's kind of what the Jets are looking for. Like, we have really needed a second line center, somebody really good and strong that could handle that second line. And he won't come to Winnipeg. Like, he has he has a no move clause, and he said there are 3 teams that he's now willing to go to since he's requested a trade. And obviously one of them is not Winnipeg. So that's another part that goes along with it, is like they need to draft well and develop those players, because they're not going to be able to get really good players any other way. I shouldn't say that entirely. That's like, but yeah, like Dylan Larkin with his no move clause. So there's been lots of talk about that. And what are they going to do differently? Like they have to do something differently, or we're just going to have the same thing happening season after season. Somebody, many people have suggested that there should be some kind of compensation for teams that are impacted by no move clauses, like many top players have. It's, many of them want to play in the US. They want to play in states where there are no state income taxes. They want to play in, bigger markets, or people love those southern states, Florida and California, and because the weather's nicer. And then people think there's, Winnipeg's the winter peg and there's nothing to do here. And I guess like most of the Canadian teams are kind of affected that way, and probably Buffalo. So maybe should there be some kind of compensation for that, or should they take a look at maybe not allowing those kinds of no move clauses or in players' contracts? Is that fair to the players? I don't know. They would probably never agree to that. The players' union would never agree to that. But it's been an interesting discussion anyway, because of the things that the Jets are facing. And the other thing, that was another thing that came up too, is that the Jets have been looking at, well, I shouldn't say they've been looking at, they have met with Shane Doan, who apparently might be interested in coming to Winnipeg, and his role with Toronto was very much in the development area. So maybe they are thinking that they need to do more in terms of development. One of the local reporters looked at I think he looked at Carolina and Vegas teams, like what kind of team staff do they have to support player development compared to the Jets? And the Jets really don't have anything. Like they have a couple of guys that are supposedly working in development, but their role, as they describe it, is talking to the players about what their goals are and then trying to support them in that. Like that doesn't help them develop into an NHL player when they're playing for the Moose. And Vegas and Carolina apparently both have quite large player development staff. So that's interesting too. Maybe that's another thing they need to look at. And maybe Shane Doan will be part of that. I don't know. And then, of course, the other thing is, if they're going to try and make a better team for next year, can they trade somebody and get somebody good in return? And of course, the main topic of who would be traded is Connor Hellebuyck, that they could probably get a good return for him. I don't know what we would do for goaltending, but but I mean, I don't know if that will happen. He seemed very frustrated at the end of the season. He's definitely, he wants to win a cup. So anyway, that's a lot of things that people are talking about. Nothing much has actually happened, and I guess maybe we'll see what happens over the summer, but it's been very interesting.
I heard the Jets have the leanest management team in the NHL.
Yeah, I would agree, only because like when I'm developing a new team for like a book, I look at rosters and I look at team staff, because I need to basically create a new team. So I kind of use those as an example. And when I look at other teams, like I think what's the last one I looked at? Might have been the Rangers, maybe the New Jersey Devils. But anyway, they have huge management teams, like huge. Okay. I kept it under an hour.
I think each team has thoughts. Each team has like going from next season, last season to this, the new season that's on the horizon eventually. Like they're going to be conversations. Each team is going to have different conversations.
Yeah.
So that's and each team is going to have a lot of thoughts and conversations going on behind the scenes to try to figure stuff out.
Yeah.
Does anyone who wants to go next?
I'll go.
Okay.
So
Yeah, the question to you then, Danica, is a different question than everybody else because
Okay.
the Flyers actually made the second round of the playoffs.
By the skin of their teeth.
But the thing is, like, it's a different stage of development, right? Like, how do you get to the playoffs versus how do you progress in the playoffs? And the question to you is, are the Flyers like, what is it? Brain is all over the place. Here we go. What do you think the Flyers need to take them to the next level?
It's the same.
Do you think do you think they're on the right path? Do you think they have to change their path to like get to the next level? Like,
So two things. They need to stop mishandling Michkov because I think he's gonna walk. And two, the same shit they always need to work on, which is pissing away power plays and defense. Like, honest, that I like the amount of times I'd be like, there is a goal there. What are you guys doing? Stop doing these fancy passes. Like, this is the Flyers thing. So, yeah, I mean, I feel like the players seem to really like playing under Tocchet. And I think they're getting there, but they're just like not at the level that they need to be. So yeah, I think it's just the same things that have never been good with the team.
so it's more tightening as opposed to like
Yeah.
change of personnel, change of players needing like
Yeah, I just feel like there's been so many personnel changes, so like I don't know if that helps the team.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like you want to see them gel through a season and be
Yeah.
like, no, it's refreshing to see someone who like is excited with not excited, but like, likes the general path that her team is going on. Like it's nice. It's nice to see that.
I don't know about that, but
Well,
I mean, I'm happy they were able to get to the playoffs, but
mhm.
I think we were just happy that we knocked out the Pens, to be honest.
Yeah, well,
Like that was like that was like the win for us.
I mean, like when you have like a strong divisional rival like that,
Yeah.
and who is so close in proximity, like
Yeah.
obviously, like especially if the relationship is so antagonistic, like it's funny, like in the conversations that follow the recent basketball championship, like hearing, because the thing is, like the basketball championship here, like there are that is the team in the area. Like, yeah, there's the Nets, but like there's not as and when you're talking men's sports, like there's not necessarily so much of a fandom. But like hockey, there's the Rangers, the Devils, and the Islanders in this down, in the downstate area, and then you have upstate with the Sabres. So like, but all of them like the Knicks. Like there's part of each of them that like the Knicks if they like basketball at all, and not just the roommate sort of situation going on. So like when you talk about that, all of a sudden, like, so who's, which hockey team is next? Like there's a huge fight as to who's getting there next. Whereas like, and both and like all of the rivalries are loud and definitely like, I mean not as much with the Sabres and the downstate team and the upstate, and the further downstate teams, but like the three downstate teams all hate each other. So it's like who could, um but yeah, like it's always an exciting bit that like it's always an exciting thing to see like when you beat your rival in that regard. But yeah, so it was very cool to see the Flyers in the playoffs this year. And definitely to make it to the second round. Do you think that they're going to be able to do it next year or
I I don't know. Probably not.
never know. You never know.
Yeah.
Who wants to go next?
You could just tell people to go next, Stacey.
No.
Fine.
Oh, Fortune's not hearing
So
us.
Fortunes can't hear us, eh?
Okay.
Oh, she's having some
Okay.
trouble tonight.
Yeah.
So the
Do you have
question, Mel,
specific questions you want to ask me?
yes, actually,
Yeah.
because you have had, like, in the last couple of weeks, there's been a whole bunch of changes in the Canucks organization
Yes.
from, from management to coach, and now you're looking forward towards the draft. Do you like these decisions? Like, do you think they're actually going to make a difference in the team's performance? Like, do you think that the choices were good ones? Do you think that they're going to have a positive impact? What do you think?
Yes, to all your questions. Well, I mean, it's good they have the Sedins are the hockey in charge of the hockey. They have what's his last name? Ryan Johnson is the new general manager, and Manny Malhotra is our new coach. So both Ryan and Manny were in charge of the farm team in Abbotsford, and Manny in his first year took them to win the Calder Cup. So, from what I've seen, I mean, he was a player here, but
Yeah.
just starting with the Sedins, they just said, we're not going to win right away, but what we are going to do is we're going to commit the Canucks to being the kind of organization who is in the community, and people like us, because they're in the community, they're doing things. So they want to make decisions on people based on character, which is pretty much the opposite of what they were doing last season. And I hope that everybody be okay that we're going to lose. Like, we finished 32nd by a mile in the league, but we're going to continue to lose. You can't just rebuild your team with one draft year. So they're going to have a high draft pick next year and maybe the year after that. And as Kelly was saying, like, development is going to be really important here. So they're going to be working on that, but they're going to look at people like as they're drafting with good character. So I think it's great. I mean, they want to be committed. They said, like, when the Sedins played here, they were famous for all the work they did at the Canucks place, going to the hospital, donating. I don't know if you remember, but when the Sedins were players, they donated, I think it was $2 million to the hospital. And they wanted it to be anonymous, but the hospital said, well, if we can talk about this, we think it'll inspire other people to donate. So when they heard that, they said, okay, you can say that we're doing it. But stuff like that, I mean, it's pretty amazing. They've been in the community a long time. Their kids have, like, grown up here. In fact, I think one of their sons, he's a really good soccer player. He's going to play for the Canadian team. So it's not a matter of, like, we want to live in Sweden. They love Vancouver and they're committed to Vancouver. So it's been kind of a breath of fresh air to hear the way they're talking about the team. And the wild card is always the owner, who apparently gets impatient and says, we can't keep losing. We can't have empty seats. But from everything they've said, the Sedins kind of insisted, are we going to do things the right way? And wouldn't sign on until they heard that they were going to. So we'll see what happens. I mean, there's a lot of work. Ron Johnson has just hired an assistant general manager who's going to be the new general manager of Abbotsford. So he sounds good, but there's a lot of people that have never done their job before. So we'll have to see how it all goes. But I think people have patience because they've wanted to rebuild a long time, and the Canucks have tried to take shortcuts. And as you can see, like, if you saw Montreal, in the short time, they really rebuilt the team, but the team is really exciting to watch too. And I think the fans, I mean, they're totally behind them and showed that. So that was great to see how the rebuilding can work.
Yeah, that is definitely, patience during a rebuild is very, very, very important. Like going 2 minutes and then saying, okay, this is it. Like, no, you need a plan. And it seems, as the way you're describing it, like the Sedins really have a plan and they have sort of an understanding of what they're going to have to do to rebuild based on
That sounds very cautiously positive for Ben.
Yeah,
yes.
and I think like for the coaching too, instead of like it being about winning games, it's going to be about improving your performance and setting up goals, to do, okay, I'm going to get this much better, or we're going to try this person on the power play or whatever, different skills and stuff. And also maybe just developing players to the extent where they can become trade chips for you just before the playoffs and things like that too. So it's going to be a younger team, but they think people will be behind them if they can see that they're really into it. There was a lot of stuff came out after it that was really bad. There was a really bad attitude, and they've been naming the players who might have been bad attitude, but that they saw a real difference right at the end of the season, that players were really happy to come to the rink. They were enthusiastic. They were working super hard. So there were some rumors about a bad atmosphere in the room. So, yeah, I know. I'll tell you who the players are later, but not on camera.
It's exciting. It sounds like a really, really good sort of start to a new era.
Yeah.
I'm happy. I mean, because it's just like the Carter Hart thing. You don't have to cheer for people of bad character. It's nice to hear that.
Yeah.
Gosh, and it's interesting because Kelly, you were talking about development. You were talking about how the development and how many people, on the Ranger staff are in management, and how some of them are meant towards development. A lot of them are not great. So one of the biggest changes for us so far is the new coach in Hartford, which is exciting. But also one of the biggest issues that the Rangers have had, aside from, like you said, Mel, when management has impatience with rebuilds, 5 minutes and then all of a sudden, one of the biggest issue I think that one of the Rangers have had so far is effective use of their young players. And actually letting them play in the NHL for more than 5 minutes when someone who is clearly should not be playing is in fact playing. And I think that, again, Melly, we're talking about the change in attitude for the Canucks towards the end of the season. The excitement on the Rangers team towards the end of the season when the young players were playing did a lot of changing in terms of getting veteran players to believe in the possibility of the team again. That win streak towards the end of the season, didn't necessarily do so great for the draft choice chances, but what it did was it gave excitement and kind of and happiness, really. And sort of the breath of fresh air, to see that, in fact, yes, the Rangers have young players that can actually play for more than a period of 5 minutes. And so, but of course, the question is still is this management team a functional draft? Can they actually pick a good person from the draft, and will they actually let this player play? That's really the central question. Yes, Rangers pick at 5, but that means 0. If your prospect team can't pick someone, and then if they pick someone great, can't use them effectively.
Stacey, does it ever bother you to see Montreal doing so well, and that was your management guy?
Not really, because I think there's a fundamental difference between the atmosphere and the development system in Montreal. Laval has a different, you know, bunch of prospects, bunch of players. Like there's a different sort of atmosphere and like, you have the owners in Montreal are different than James Dolan. Like we talk about coaching systems for players and how they do well or not, you know, when we were talking about the Carolina Hurricanes, Gorton is a great manager when it comes to someone who gives them the space to do it. Like you need to be able to like work with the owners. Like once you're a general manager, you need to be able to work with the owners. The same thing that you were talking about, Mel, when you were excuse me, talking about what the Sedins were looking for when they finally said okay. Like they needed that assurance from management. They needed the assurance from ownership to be able to do their jobs effectively. Gorton is doing great with what the Montreal Canadiens have. He's got the relationship with ownership in Montreal, but that I don't think would not have worked in New York. I think he was great for as long as he was, but I think one of the things that needs to be able to happen in New York is you have to be able to deal with James Dolan. And one of the things that we demonstrated is that Gorton could not when it came down to it. And I think like, he's doing great as I said, he's doing great in Montreal. Thank you for the years that you were able to deal with James Dolan. And then the questions of like the medical trainers and what that happened there and that whole story. Like there's a different atmosphere in Montreal that could not have happened. Like, so yeah. So yay for him being successful in Montreal, but no, I don't regret him being gone in New York.
Wow, but what it turns out that your owner gets rid of every smart general manager.
You know
Oh,
what? But
dear.
that's part of like you have to like a general manager working in a team has to be able to deal with that. Like, why do you think it took the Sedins so long to agree to step in? Like, they wouldn't have done it like randomly because they'd seen the inside of Canucks management.
Yeah, but
They
we'll
knew
see if
what
it
you know what
works.
I
I
mean?
mean,
Like they
that's
knew
what
what
they
they needed.
negotiated. Because
Yeah,
like Jim Rutherford was great. He had a great relationship with ownership, but he wasn't making the best decisions as a general manager. So
yeah, exactly. Like
Yeah.
it's you have to like making great decisions is one thing, but making great decisions for the team in the context of the ownership and making great decisions for the team to be able to sort of help them thrive in the context of the ownership that you have is another thing entirely. Every sort of like every team has ownership related drama, whatever that's going to end up being. And when if you're going to work with the team, you got to deal with that. You got to like either work around like again like the roommate situation. You've got Leon Rose who made some brilliant basketball decisions and now Dolan has a basketball championship. you know it's the conversation about like can he can he effectively allow a Leon Rose on the hockey side, and who could that be? And that's kind of the question. So, but we know the draft order and who's picking where for the NHL draft that's coming. We do not know that for the PWHL draft.
no, well, we know who's picking first.
Yep, we do. But we don't know the rest of them. We don't know how the rest of that order is going to go. That hasn't happened yet.
So
So
can somebody tell me how that works in the PWHL? Because I don't
at
know.
the moment,
Nobody knows.
so exactly at the moment, nobody has any idea, because again, like, this is like one of the biggest things at the moment is the expansion process.
Mm.
And that, like, we're 3 days from the PWHL draft and we don't know the order because the expansion process has been taking forever. Like, they
That kind of
created this whole
makes it hard for teams
yeah,
to sort of scout ahead and know, you know, who's available and who might be available at whatever pick that we like. Kind of makes that hard for them to plan.
and like they created this whole separate expansion process because what they didn't want is they didn't want an expansion draft. So like they've had like phase 1, phase 2, this is what happens in phase 2 and phase 3 and phase 4, and like, you know, like teams are only allowed to lose like 5 players or something like that, and you know, and that once that happens, that's it, no matter how many players you protect. And it's like everybody's confused because this whole process has been going on for so long. No one knows anything. Mel, I know you've been following Vancouver. Are you happy with the play? Like, how, are you happy with the way that the process has been going? Like, do you know which players you lost or which?
I don't think we've lost anybody yet. But I think we're going to lose our goalie, backup goalie, apparently, because they just did the phase. You know, one thing I find really weird about the PWHL is how hard it is to get information about things. Like, it's like nobody's covering it. You're like, where's the overview of everything? But so they dole it out on social media, but it's
Yep.
not like somebody doing a summary. This is what's happening. This is, you know, what's going to happen next. I find it really, really odd the way that it's covered. So, but anyway, it's good. We have the first pick, and I think they thought that the general manager had done well because she didn't lose anybody in phase 1, and they were able to re-sign Sarah Nurse, and then she's got her protected players for. She got to sign 2 more players for phase 2, and these were players that had been offered contracts, I guess, in phase 1 and turned them down. So obviously desirable players. So Jen Gardner and Izzy Daniels, so they're going to be back too. So it's great. That's great. I mean, I really like Jen Gardner. I was hoping she was going to come back, so I'm glad she signed a deal and is back. But I think now the next phase we're going to definitely lose players because it's weird that we didn't lose any, although we weren't that good. So maybe that's why.
I know. Sirens lost a bunch of players. But the player that I was most nervous about losing, we did not lose. So I'm very grateful about that. I thought that El Harchi was a gunner for Detroit, but that did not happen, which makes me very happy. She was not a protected player, both in phase 1 or phase 2. But they did like Sarah Fillier stayed. They lost Allison Simpson. Hamilton is actually looking interesting and pretty good. The San Jose and Las Vegas is interesting. Detroit is another interesting case. The excitement from I see here Minnesota fans about losing a very particular player is very loud and wonderful. So of course they lost her to Detroit. So unfortunately, there is conversation about Detroit and the players on that particular team. Britta Curl is now on Detroit. So, but I know there are a couple of the backup goaltender, but also there are a bunch of other teams who do not have a goaltender. So the conversation becomes, why are you drafting all these forwards and not a goaltender? Which puts a lot of thought into the draft, which we still don't know what the order is, except for Vancouver at first.
Yeah. Wow.
And there are, I want to say, I thought I heard a number like 32 players or more than that, I think 50 something players. I have to look at the statistic. Of course I didn't. Oh, wow. We are almost at like,
Yeah.
wow. Okay. So, you know
So
what?
moving on.
Yes, seriously. Wow.
We have a lot to say about our teams.
So before we move to the before we move to our style reports and wildest thing, some of us have books coming out. Mel, Kelly, do you guys want to just
Go
briefly
to
talk
Kelly. Oh
about
no, I
your
got it
books
here.
and
Okay.
dates?
Can I do this?
Let's see.
Can't see it.
Oh,
can't
right in
see
front
it.
of your face.
I love it.
Here.
All right, I'll disappear. Okay.
That
I see it.
cover is gorgeous.
Yeah, that's really nice. That's really
101. It is coming out July 7th. It's my first high concept book. She has to date him and dump him to get into the sorority of her choice. So we'll see if she can do it. And he is the guy throughout the series that has never been in a relationship. Team captain, hottie. I like those guys that say they'll never go out with anyone, because you know they will by the end of the book.
Love it.
Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Oh, great.
Good.
Yeah, and I have June 25th. The Rebound is coming out. I'll hold it right in front of my face. I'll peek.
Nice.
No. It's a beautiful cover.
That's a
I'm
great
really in love
cover.
with the cover.
Gorgeous.
This is Second Chance Romance. It's about the couple that we've been following through this series who had a terrible tragedy befall them in the first book. And this is their obviously second chance. So, but it's got lots of other, it's got some very moving things in it, but it's not a depressing book. There is some happiness in it. And there's some other fun things like they have to share a cabin because they're having a fake relationship, and there's only one bed. Of course.
Naturally.
Has there ever been a depressing Kelly Jamieson book? I don't think so.
I hope not, but like sometimes there's some heavy stuff in there, and this was like, you know, they
I
went
think
through.
you balance it really well usually. Like,
Oh, thank you.
you know, like
Yeah.
there might be like really tough things they go through, but
Yeah.
we know there's going to be a happily ever after,
Good
so we
ending.
know
Yes.
what we're getting into with your
Yes,
books.
there absolutely will. And I'm really this book's been getting some really good reviews, so
Yeah.
yay.
Yeah. Yes. Danica and I are big Kelly J fans. So.
That's so nice.
Good. Okay.
Okay, I didn't send you a wildest thing, Stacey, but mine is kind of tied up with my style report.
So should we do style report first?
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, let me see if I can share. Sometimes it tells me no. Okay. All right.
Awesome.
This made me laugh. It's all like Haynes.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
I don't think any of us talked to each other about what our picks were going to be.
No.
All right, Stacey, I think this is yours.
Okay, so top, yeah, but so yeah, that top left, the
Yeah.
solo dude is mine. So I said that the Carolina Hurricanes did something I've been wanting them to do for years. The thing in question involves the gentleman in my style picture. That is Scotty McCreery, who is a country singer. He gained his fame initially through American Idol, and he's still touring years later. He is also a major, major, major Carolina Hurricanes fan. Like, the story goes when he was rather young, they moved to they became the Carolina Hurricanes when he was about 3 or 4, and he's been obsessed ever since. He has done the Siren. He's done a whole bunch of things, and for years I have wanted them to make him do the goal song or something to that effect, because really, like, what's the point of having singers as fans if you don't use them for goal songs or something to that effect? This year, the NHL put out, and the Carolina Hurricanes put out an introduction to Carolina. I forget exactly what it's called, but I think it's like Sounds of Carolina or something. And they do it to Scotty McCreery's song, This Is It, which tells the story of his proposal to his now wife. But also it shows, how Carol, and he's the narrator as well, and it shows how how Carolina is excited for the series, and how Carolina sort of prepares for like Hurricanes games. And it's just a really cute little thing. It's like a minute long. It's on YouTube. It's a couple places. Anyway, so in honor of all of that, here's Scotty McCreery in his Canes jersey. So there we go.
Nice.
You think, yeah.
What direction do we want to go?
Go. That
You wanna
one's
go?
me, the top right. So the style pick is, so these this is how it ties into my wildest thing is, and I've talked about these guys before, Seth Jarvis's friends.
Yep.
These are guys who played hockey together as kids, and Seth is the one who made it into the NHL, and so now they're his like biggest supporters and travel all over to cheer him on. And now they have their own Instagram, the good old Canadian boys. And as for my star report, this year they have WAG jackets, because it's not just wives and girlfriends, it's wives and guys, guy friends. Because you know how the WAGs always do these team jackets for the playoffs, and they have these, stylish jackets. Well, here are theirs. They're all just wild denim jackets with like hand painted things, but always with the Seth Jarvis numbers.
So they made them themselves?
Yes.
Just went down to Michael's and got some fabric.
Apparently that's what happened. Yeah. I just think it's so funny, like that these guys were like, friends growing up, and now they're just all over the place cheering on their best friend. It's really cool.
And they're from Winnipeg.
And they're from Winnipeg. Yeah.
Okay, this is mine. This is Sebastian Aho. And if you're wondering why there's two of him, it's because the NHL put out this post that was like kind of calling all the players out, but there was like multiple slides where a lot of the NHL players rewore their suits. And like Sebastian Aho was like one of them. And so they had these side by side photos with them. And I think it was mostly the Canes that they were featuring. So I don't know, I just liked this ones, but I thought it was funny that they're like, oh, is it like good? There was like something about, is it good luck to like rewear your suit during the playoffs?
Well, how many suits do they think they should have?
I don't know, but I guess it was just noticeable.
More than 7.
Well, 16, you'd have to have at least 16
Well, because
suits.
some of them weren't even suits though. Like some of them was the same outfit. Like,
Oh,
Martin took like wore the same sweater. Like he was dressed very casually. So it wasn't just the suits, it was like the same, they were wearing the same outfit. So I don't know if that was a superstitious thing that they all agreed on or something. But yeah, I was just like, well, this is a nice suit. So
Oh, great.
it is a nice suit.
Okay, mine is the game when, I guess it's the second game, when the announcers asked the crowd to go tarps off, and then Carolina scored 2 goals.
Oh,
I think Seth Jarvis said they were inspired by the crowd, and he says also it's really cold in there. So
yeah.
it was brave of them to go. But then it's kind of linked to my wildest thing too, and it's just watching that goal go in over Carter Hart's shoulder. Is that
Yeah.
on Instagram? My favorite thing is like whenever there's something praising Vegas, I just go, and the top comment is something about Carter Hart. And then the next comment is somebody like, he was innocent. And then don't you know the difference between acquitted and innocent? Like there's this whole predictable thing that happens every time. Like, your goalie is a sexual predator. And then there's this whole thing that happens.
Yeah.
But I find that quite enjoyable.
That's cool.
all right. What we got?
Oh, it is 9 o'clock on the East Coast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we have officially, and does anybody else have anything they want to?
We want to watch the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, we want to go watch the game.
Been checking the
Okay.
score.
Oh, don't tell me. Don't tell me.
I won't. But that's what I've been doing.
So watch our social media we'll be back in September, but watch for the exact dates and
Yeah.
we'll be ready for a new season.
Yeah. Have a good summer, everyone.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you for spending the hockey season with us.
Yeah. Thank you. Okay.